Anyways, that would be the prediction because unfortunately that helicopter was super underwhelming. So it is what it is. When it caught us off guard, I was like, oh, this might actually be rough. But it turned out pretty tame. What are the round icons at the 1 and 2? Oh, those are people who, the blue one is people who voted in favor, like the first option in the prediction, and then the pink one is for those who voted the second option. So, blue are the people who were in support of me surviving, and pink were the ones who figured I wasn't going to make it. And I don't know what the 1 and 2 mean, whether that's like who bet the most or what that was, but you know. Alright, I want to see if I can tow that, because honestly, if this truck gets stuck out there because a tire blows or something, I can live with that. Gotcha. 1 is for option 1, 2 is for option 2. Gotcha. But I would like to drag one of the two trucks down here if it's not awful. If it is awful, I'm just going to dump it on the side of the road again. I just don't want it in the middle of the road where I'll forget about it and then slam into it going 55. And for the record, the engine and the muffler on this are basically shot to the point that it's one of the loudest things you can have for a vehicle. So it brings everyone out. Hey, Pankraru, thank you for the raid. Give me a moment, I'll give you a shout out. There you go, Pankraru playing Splatoon 2. So how was your stream? We just had a helicopter roll through and it was pretty underwhelming. So unlike the last one where it was like an absolute war zone, it was just kind of quiet. Nice. Getting the capture card working is good. The downside was like, all right, well let me, you know, people suggest it's like, why don't you just use the sirens to draw the zombies out? Like that might be something worth doing. I'm like, you're right, that would be something worth doing. I didn't draw too much here, which makes a certain amount of sense. But then I tried to tow it with my other thing, which had a very weak engine. It's kind of stuck here, so I need to move it. I'm hoping I can take one home. Alright, Darstrider. You gotta have yourself a good walk with the doggo. And some good sleep. Okay, this isn't terrible. Okay, it seems like when it's switch into second gear, we slow down, so we want to keep it in first gear. Yep, the idea is each time the helicopter shows up, I'll just hop on down to this police car and just run it as hard as we can. Like the sirens and all that. I probably... So we still can't replace tires because we haven't found a jack yet. But I probably should go and just work on my Mechanica 2. That way we can hotwire this thing so I can put gas in it and start it itself. Because while it has gas in it, it won't drain the battery on a meaningful level. Whereas if I just run the sirens without it, when the battery dies, it's done. Car's pulling a little to the left. That is a nice touch, that like the wear on the tires actually matters. Yeah, I'm going by the fact that like all 4 tires are basically gone on this thing. And then this truck, honestly, the tires aren't a whole lot better. So I'm just pretending they're like underinflated, mostly broken, that kind of thing. Versus if those tires are in good shape, yeah, I would agree. So just in my head, I'm pretending it's an awful, awful shape, because it is a wreck and it is an awful shape. Or that because it's a wreck, it's, you know, transmission's shot and it's stuck in gear. I actually didn't check to see which of the two is in better shape, if I'm being honest. They're both wrecks, which means they're both going to be like 15-20% at tops. When you find wrecks, like everything is redded out, there's not a good part on them. That said, we're getting close to home. Yep, it's a garden hoe. Garden hoe is a very excellent weapon. Get a couple points in long blunt, and it's a very seriously good damaging weapon. You can usually pretty reliably two-shot things. It also knocks stuff down very reliably. Alright, we're almost home. My plan, like I said, is to drag it downtown. So I'm thinking I'm going to take it to the rural supply shop. There's that little parking lot along the side. I think that's where I'm going to dump it. Because it's a big open area I can fight in. This might be my plan for keeping areas quote-unquote clear. Just periodically go to where we'll have like a police car left in the middle of town somewhere. And just light up the sirens. Give it a couple minutes, see what shakes out. I mean, one thing working for it in its favor is it's only 28 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So it's well below freezing, so that does help a little bit with the heat. Depends what you mean with that. Like, my plan, because that's a wreck. Like, that is a car that will stall again and again and again and be completely annoying to use. So, I would probably just leave it there and go. If you're talking about me using it to, like, drive over zombies, no. Like, I have accidentally killed somewhere in the area of, like, maybe 3 zombies with vehicles so far, but I don't, you know, I don't drive, like, over zombies. I will melee. Yep, as Whistlebeak's saying, it's actually very dangerous to use cars as weapons in this game. Because honestly, it doesn't take too many zombies you hit to blow your hood, and once your hood's blown, your engine goes in no time. So it's actually really dangerous to use cars as weapons. Like, the best you can do is kind of, you know, you can do a thing where you spin the back of the car around to damage zombies, but you just destroy your poor car. I'd much rather have cars that I can use reliably. Yep. And I mean, it's fair also. If you slam into a person going 55 miles per hour, sure, the person has the worst of the two situations, but your car is not going to be happy about it. Like, it's not going to be insignificant damage like the bumper of your car or anything. And if they roll up onto the hood or the windshield, those are going to be broken. Or damaged, I should say, not broken. Yep. Like, that's the thing when we talk about underweight versus overweight. It's like, for fixing yourself, underweight's way easier normally. A few exceptions, like if you have, you know, extremely rare food and all that kind of stuff, sure, but generally speaking, underweight's way easier to get rid of in the fast term. Yeah, no, I would definitely agree that you can fix underweight way faster than overweight. Now granted, overweight's just like, okay, just don't eat oats and that, congratulations, it'll fix itself, just wait. Yeah, the reason why I'm not going to try and, like, fix this or do anything with this is the condition this vehicle is in. Like, there is nothing redeemable about this vehicle. 11% engine, if someone sneezes, that thing's breaking down. Not yet. I want to actually try and quickly see if I can't get mechanic skill. I think I'm at, like, mechanic skill 1.5. Because the problem is when I run the wee-woos, it drains the batteries unless the car is running. And until I can do that, so yeah. Like, we've already drained the battery 30% with the wee-woos. Oh, it can be fixed if you're dedicated enough, but... I mean, I will just find one of those nowhere near as bad shape as this one. Like, that one's in absolutely awful shape. I mean, who needs the wee-woos? I'm just running that truck with its blown muffler and it's dragging zombies from everywhere. Like, we were blasting with a gun, helicopter overhead, all that stuff, and just driving my truck downtown draws more zombies from farther away. Like, is actually using the truck because its engine was such crap so far as noise, as well as the muffler was so bad. It's just, it's getting so bad now that it's stalling a whole bunch. And that's a good way to get yourself killed if that stalls at the wrong point. I believe they start spawning right away. I know I've gotten hunting knives very early. So if there is a delay from when they can spawn, it's nowhere, like... Yeah, you'll have dry spells with them, I found, but... I don't think it's a time delay problem type deal. Because I figure the other horde's heading towards me. I don't want them on both sides of me. I mentioned it stalls a lot now, right? Because it does stall a lot now. I do like that they make it even sound like it's idling rough and everything. It's like you can get an idea when your truck's getting all messed up. Is like, oh, it just doesn't even sound right anymore. Got a group down here, got a group up here, had a group back at the intersection. Green has... I mean, I didn't notice it personally, but I mean, maybe something didn't work right. Okay, where is my mechanics? Yeah, my mechanics... Okay, so it's 1 1/3. Let's go grab a wrench. Because I don't know what we will and won't be able to do. I do know I can't pull off the tire suspension. I can't do brake suspension or any of that. Is the mini-map a difficulty thing? No, the mini-map on the bottom right is under your world settings when you create your world. You can choose to either have the mini-map, not have the mini-map, have the have this map exist at all, or pre-populate the whole thing. I chose to pre-populate because I've been around the map enough that it's like, it's not hiding anything from me. And it's like, for clearing stuff, it's like, alright, I just want to be able to see that's like, yes, there is a zombie, like, or not, there is a zombie there, it's, there is a place over there, I should check for zombies, versus just random woods. Alright, so there's a wrench, that should be all I could reasonably use for mechanic stuff. Oh, right. Now I want to take this right now before I forget. Because these are going to go bad. Yep, pretty much. Ellen is like, I want more sinks. My value is directly proportional to the number of sinks I have in my home. Yep, now I'd have to drag a grill up here, so I just haven't. It's fine. You just stay far away from it and respect its authority. Yep, no, I just need to grab one. I grabbed this way earlier and it's just been here. So I just haven't replaced it because I haven't had a need to. Alright, that's fine. Meanwhile, let's try and get some mechanic skill. Because if I get to, I can start hotwiring all these cars we got laying around and maybe get ourselves some better cars that don't have, 1, blown parts, or 2, just almost completely unusable. Oh. Sure. And this is the auto auto mechanic mod. It'll just go through and it'll remove and add whatever it can. It's not giving me any unfair advantages, it's just saving me clicks. What I am going to do, though, is I'm not going to do it on this car. As I already removed the hood and I'm damaging it. Okay, stop. We're not doing this car. I'm going to go, there's a wreck up here. I'm just going to train on the wreck. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a horde of zombies up here earlier, like a medium-ish horde. Like right at this intersection there was. They appear to have since moved somewhere, which is always concerning when you don't know where somewhere is. That's probably them over there. That's fine. I'm gonna leave... actually, they're right here. Yeah, that's the wreck I'm planning on working on, because it is a literal wreck. There's, like, if I destroy all the parts, fine, I actually don't care. Nope, it does not avoid parts that you will destroy. Because honestly, if you're training mechanic, usually I'll just go to a wreck anyways and just take off parts. It's like, you should have 6 mechanic to do this. I'm like, nah, that's fine. 1's okay. Because, like, I don't mind absolutely destroying this car. One of the other nice things is if you're in a really, really safe place, you can just fast forward because it'll automatically go through everything. Yeah, but every time you fail, you get a little bit of skill. Every time you successfully reinstall something, you get a little bit of skill. The first time you successfully install it per day on that specific vehicle. So, like, if I were to uninstall the hood and reinstall it again successfully, I wouldn't gain XP for that. Because I've already done it today. Oh, it's also smart enough where it does all the things in the front. Then it goes to the side, does all the things it can in the side. Now, granted, I don't have a tire iron or a jack, so I can't do any of the tires, the brakes, or any of that. So it's just going to do the seats. But I'll just do a walk around the car and do it. I did. I have checked all the cars that I've been able to check. Alright, so we broke that door, so we can't do anything with it, so we just dropped the door on the ground. Yeah. Now, for ruining cars, the way I look at this is a ruined car. Like, what am I going to do to make this worse? Like, if I break the parts, they're already basically broken. That was the reason why I started working on the one. I was like, no, wait, I don't want to do it on that one. I want to go to a junk car. Because you don't gain or lose more experience for, like, if the car's in good or bad shape. So just completely destroy an already destroyed car. Because ultimately, the other thing you do with this is right-click and choose Dismantle with a propane torch to get a bunch of metal from it. That's its only value to you, really. Yeah, so we're making good XP. We're already about 2/3 the way there. I'm not going to bother grinding out a whole bunch. Just going to go for 2 so I can hotwire. Yeah. I am the same way with clutter for the most part. Like, I will leave a pile of sheets next to the fire because it just takes too long to put them in, and you just get too many per thread. But generally, I'll actually find, like with these doors on here, usually what I'll do is I'll find a spiffo trash can and put all the carts and delete them from existence. Like, I'll probably still do that at some point, is just get a trash can to delete those doors or any other parts they break out of the world. The thing is, you need a one of the larger trash cans because some of the parts are just too big for a regular trash can. Alright, we're getting close. Only about 30 points of XP more, and we're ready to hotwire some cars. Which works out, because then I can just hotwire that police car, turn on its wee-woos, and then because I'm using the engine, the battery won't just drain away. Because that's the only reason I didn't do it just there, is because otherwise it runs for like a couple of minutes, the battery just gets hosed, and then you can't even start it to recharge it. And I don't have a battery charger to recharge it afterwards, which means when its battery dies, it's done. But if I have it running, that's not a problem. And it already had a couple units of gas in it too, from what I was looking at. I mean, I wish it wasn't that way, because, like, I wish I could get more thread without creating all those sheets, because there's just nothing you can do with the sheets. I did try and get rid of all the sheets so it wasn't hurting the performance anymore by just standing at the grill, just endlessly dumping them in the grill as fuel. It just goes so slow. It is one thing I wish they would change, that I can right-click and just say, add everything in. Right, I just have to make sure I never accidentally fully drain the battery, because otherwise the other car won't start. Once I fully drain the battery, that's the end of that battery, unless I have a battery charger. Which I don't. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, like, it's one thing that makes sense if I'm, like, building something for, like, a fire structure to get the most out of it, sure. But I'm just piling sheets into a fire. Like, it's not like I'm stacking the sheets into a cleverly made cone or something. It's a pile of sheets. They don't have structural integrity or anything. You just kind of lump them there and burn them. Or even then I've joked about, like, having it so you can put them in meticulously one by one and they give you, like, 10% more fuel, or you can just dump them in fast. Oh, neat. I didn't know that, Whistlebeak. Thank you for the follow, Ken Farmer. Welcome to the stream. Should be getting pretty close to Mechanic 2. Oh yeah, we're at 7 XP, 6 XP. We're going to be there anytime now. I have thoroughly destroyed this car, even more than it was already destroyed. But, you know, that's what happens when your training mechanic is some car you're working on is going to take pain. Unless you go each and every day, just remove the headlights and put them back, and the taillights put them back, and the battery and the radio and put them back. But that's talking like you're gaining, what, 15, 20, 25 XP per day at the top, per car or whatever. So you need a small army of cars to do it. Which if you do want to... Okay, and so we're done. So dropping the busted windows in the ground, grabbing that, and we have no more car parts on us. So putting away the wrench, because I don't want to actually break it. I don't have a spare at the moment. Alright, anything here not marked as fresh. Everything still appears to be fresh in all the other freezers. Cool. Okay, so we got 2 units. Actually, everything's in the freezer, so I don't need to worry about it. Gotcha, alright. So I don't think I'm ready to have my character go to sleep yet. Alright, never mind. I lied. We're like right about to be drowsy. That said, it's too early to go to sleep. So, even though I expect to catch absolutely nothing, just gonna kill time this way. Because I'm curious, I believe you still get some XP, so 123.73? Yeah, so we're still gaining XP even though I'm not catching anything. It's just really terrible. I very much enjoy the, like, panicked fish emote.